And we are right here, and just south of Cape Veer here. And up here, this is Cape Hatteras. And the Gulf Stream is right about down here, so we're not in the current. We're out of the current. Just starting to feel these northeasterlies filling in now. The good news is the last forecast I got this morning, I was able to pick up some of the VHF weather. And they've downed the forecast to northeast 10 to 20 as opposed to 15 to 25. But still, I might kind of stick my nose in the Gulf Stream and see what it's like. But still, I'm a little wary of that Gulf Stream and northeasterly winds. Tomorrow, winds coming easterly about 10 to 15, so we could probably get in the Gulf Stream then and let it carry us the rest of the way toward Cape Hatteras. So these northeasterlies have arrived. It's Monday, June 3rd. We got northeast winds, about 15, 17 knots or so. And I got her down 2 reefs in the main reef staysail. She's nice and comfortable. We're moving along at about 3 to 4 knots. We're close hauled here. We still haven't gotten back out into the current, so we'll see what that's like. But it's supposed to top out, the winds are supposed to top out right around now tonight, and then start veering more east, and then dropping back down to about 10 knots or so. So hopefully that'll be true. And hopefully they'll veer to the southeast sooner than later, so we can get a fair wind and start making good time again. It's Tuesday morning, 4th of June, and we're out in the Gulf Stream now. I tacked over onto starboard earlier this morning. This wind has veered. It's come easterly, still hanging around 15, 18 knots or so in strength. And as you can see, we're bouncing all over the place. We got a lot of slop out here, which is to be expected because we're in the Gulf Stream. However, we are making good progress now. We're just about steering course toward Cape Hatteras, and we're making about 5 to 6 knots over the ground, even though we can barely do 3 or 4 knots through the water because we're getting knocked around by these swells so much. Cape Hatteras is about 180 miles from where we're at. So hopefully these winds will continue to veer and drop off a little, so some of this slop will go down, and we'll be able to sail even a little bit faster. But things are starting to look up now. It looks like we're past this hump, so we'll see how it goes. Everyone! It is Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2019, and we are at 34 degrees, 41 minutes north, and 75 degrees, 20 minutes west, which puts us about 30 miles from our turning point off Cape Hatteras. We're back in the Gulf Stream now, and we're doing about 4 or 5 knots through the water and 7 to 8 knots over the ground. So we're making pretty nice time here. I want to be making good time because I managed to pick up the VHF weather, and sounds like we got some wind on the way. Winds are southerly now, and they are gradually increasing. We got about 12 to 15 knots. They're supposed to continue to veer to the southwest and pick up 15 to 25 knots tonight and tomorrow. So it's going to get fairly windy. southwest is a fair direction, so that's good. But I do want to get around, I would like to get around Cape Hatteras before these winds really pick up. Even though the direction is not, even though the direction is fair, I'd like to get out of the Gulf Stream current and just get away from Cape Hatteras. It does not have a reputation as being a sailor-friendly place. So we're driving around here. Had a pretty nice tranquil night last night, and I finally managed to catch up on some sleep. I was really running a sleep deficit, and last night the AIS alarm went off. I was being approached by a freighter, and I saw his two mastheads in a red light, and for some reason I kept thinking we were going to pass starboard to starboard, and so I couldn't understand why the bearing was, the number was falling from 045 to 043, and so I got up on deck and I kept steering off to port to try to avoid him, thinking that he was coming straight at me, and I couldn't figure out that I had the situation reversed. I was looking at his port side. He was going across my bow, so I had a moment of panic there. I thought we were going to collide. But I figured it out, but it was definitely, that was definitely a result of just lack of sleep, when you can't figure things out. We're also getting near Cape Hatteras. There always seems to be military jets. I hear it somewhere. That sounds like a fighter jet. Somewhere up there. So relatively tranquil conditions last night, and I was able to catch up on some sleep. Which is good, because it gets a little bit dangerous when you get to the point where you're not, your brain is just not functioning correctly, and you need to be alert out here. So we're driving on 30 miles to Cape Hatteras, and then about another 130 miles to the mouth of the bay. So with this wind, that's probably about 36 hours or so of sailing, and so we're getting there. That's definitely much more comfortable. These winds are getting up close to 30, so I gotta put a third reef in the main, keep her a little better balanced. I know you're supposed to maintain course and speed, but I'm luffing up because I can't get this guy's name. It's not coming through on the AIS, and I don't know whether or not this guy sees me. He's logging 17 knots and he's bigger than me, so I'm going to stay out of his way. Well, it is Thursday, the 6th of June, and as you can see right off our bow there is the platform off the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. So we've sort of arrived. We had just quite the dark and stormy night last night coming around Cape Hatteras. Winds got up to 30 knots and got hit by one big breaking wave, came down the companionway, and I was really kicking myself because I didn't put the weatherboards in the companionway hatch, and that one was basically a sucker punch. It got me by surprise and got water all over the chart desk, and no damage, but as I said, it was like a sucker punch. It completely caught me off guard. And we had a lot of wind last night, in the 20s most of the night. I was triple reef main and reef staysail. The boat was charging along. And then around 10 o'clock this morning, the wind started to ease up, which I was thankful for. And then it started to really ease up. And now it's about 3 in the afternoon and we have absolutely no wind. We're just sitting here off the mouth of the bay drifting. I was able to pick up the 4G network on my cell phone. I'm just close enough for that. And most of the weather models are saying we're not going to have any wind until about 5 or 6 this evening. That's going to come back in from the south. So it looks like we're stuck drifting for a little while here. So that's where it's at. It would be nice to get some wind and actually get into the bay. I wanted to make it to Fishing Bay in Deltaville. That's another 30 miles. We'll see how far we get. But right now we're going nowhere. So we take it as it comes, and we'll see where we're at tomorrow.